Okay, combination of this is quadrature amplitude modulation. So today we are going to discuss this quadrature amplitude modulation. Okay, so problems are very simple problems. I want everyone to just go through that. Is it my screen is visible no to everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, okay, fine. So yesterday there was some problem with the recording. I don't know, it is recorded only for 6 minutes. Let me just revise what we have discussed in the yesterday's class. So I'll just take 2 minutes to revise that. So yesterday we discussed about the frequency shift keying. Okay, so how exactly the FSK works, how it is implemented, what is the bandwidth used. So when I tell frequency shifting, so if it is a binary, so for each of the data, it has to use the different frequencies. Okay, and also there are some conditions when you are following FSK, so where there will be a minimum the distance apart. Okay, so the two frequencies should be apart from 2 delta f. That is a one condition you need to remember. Whenever if the frequency is selected, it should be having 2 delta f apart, and it should be delta f apart. The main, if you are not, if you are taking mid of the frequency, it is 2 delta f. Okay, if you are just considering as a frequency, it should be delta f apart. So that we have discussed yesterday, and also we have solved some problem with respect to. So this is this white color distance, it indicates delta f. Okay. So how this is implemented? So how you can make whatever the output it is coming with the two different frequencies. Okay, if this is your input unipolar NRZ and this is carrier frequency. Okay, you can just see it is having the same amplitude and frequency. There is nothing change. It is just we have a hardware unit called voltage control oscillator. Okay, so that is going to generate the carrier frequency. Okay, so now this frequency is modified according to the input that is coming. Okay, you can just observe here. So if it is the voltage is positive, okay, so where it will be having the high frequency. If it is the voltage is 0, it will retain that the frequency as it is. So that we have discussed in the last class. Okay, so that's initials about the FSK, where you are going to modulate the signal in terms of frequencies, different frequencies. And also we started with the PSK, that is phase shift keying, where you are going to modulate according to the phases. So the data is going to be represented in different phases. Okay, so here mainly we have discussed with respect to a binary PSK. So where we'll be considering two bit information 0 and 1. So bit 0 is represented with 0 degree and 1 is represented with 180 degree. Okay, so if this is a case, how the diagram look. And also here one important thing you need to remember is the input, whatever it is represented, the digital signal, it is input is considered as polar NRZ signal. Okay, so this is how you will get the data. So modulated signal. Okay, for bit 1 it is starting. Okay, I think I told reverse. So for bit 1 you are using the phase 0 degree. For bit 0 you are using the 180 degree. Okay, so accordingly you can just check the phase. The cycle starts from 0 degree for 1. Okay, there is no change in the amplitude. You can just check it. There is no change in the amplitude, and also there is no change in the frequency. Okay, there is no change in the frequency for bit 1 and 0. So there is only change in terms of phase. Okay, so where the bit 1, if it is data, digital data or bit, it is 1, so it is going to start the signal from phase 0, that is 0 degree. If it is 0, it is going to start from 180 degree. Okay, by maintaining the constant of amplitude and frequency. Okay, so that's all about this. So now we'll just focus on how it is implemented. So this is, you need to understand thoroughly. So this is what we have discussed. This is binary PSK. It's so simple how it can be implemented. Okay, so where you will be using two different frequency F1 and F2 to represent bit 1 and also 0. So here bandwidth, it is same as ASK. Okay, so whatever the bandwidth we have discussed for ASK, it is same as that. So that is B is equal to 1 plus D into S. You should be knowing what are these parameters. Okay, S indicates signal rate, D indicates it is a factor. Okay, so the value for D normally they will give in the problem itself. It range from, so the value, it will be between 0 to 1. Okay, that will be specified in the problem. So today we'll move on to the variation of PSK. Okay, that is called quadrature PSK. Okay, so quadrature PSK. So what exactly the meaning of quadrature PSK here? So QPSK is designed to use 2 bits at a time in each signal element. That means whatever we have discussed in the previous diagram, where it is representing each data, single data element is carried by single signal element. So now we will just change, we'll use single signal element to carry the 2 bits. Okay, so whenever if it is carrying 2 bits carried by one signal element. Okay, so that is that representation, we call it as quadrature PSK. Don't get confused, it is not QAM, still we are in PSK. So where I am just increasing number of bits sent per signal element is increased to 2 bits. Okay, so that representation itself we call it as quadrature PSK. So by this what happens? Okay, 2 bit at a time in each signal element. So what is the advantage we are going to get if it is carrying 2 bits per signal element? So obviously it is going to decrease the baud rate. Okay, the number of signal element represented for the given data, if it is less, that means the utilization of bandwidth can be made it like it can be utilized efficiently. Okay, so always the number of signal elements should be less. Okay, it should not be more. So you just understand, representing or carrying one data element by one signal element. Okay, what happens in this case? It requires lot of bandwidth. Okay, so instead of this, to make it bandwidth utilization efficiently, so let's make carry 2 bits by one signal element. That is, number of signal element should be always less per second. Okay, so decreasing the baud rate and eventually required the bandwidth. Bandwidth can also be reduced. So this scheme is called as quadrature PSK. That is just number of data elements carried by less number of signal elements. So that concept we call it as quadrature PSK. So here 2 data elements are carried by one signal element. So this concept, it is called as QPSK. Okay, so why we have given separate name? Because in BPSK only one data element is carried by one signal element. So that's why it is given or specified with a different name. Okay, so here what exactly the meaning of quadrature? Why we are using QPSK? Okay, PSK everybody knows. So now quadrature, why, what is the meaning of quadrature is here? So we are going to use different phases to represent the bits. Okay, so it is not just 0 and 180. So we are going to use, because how many, if it is 2 bits, okay, so all possible number of combinations for 2 bits you will be getting 2 power 2, it is 4 bits. Okay, 4 combination you are going to get, that is 0 0 1 0 0 1 and 1 1. Okay, so you need 4 phases to represent this QPSK. Okay, so that is represented using different phases. Different phases means different degree you are going to use to represent these data. Okay, so your quadrature is nothing but phase. Okay, phase is nothing but you are going to use different degrees to represent the signal element. So now we'll just go with this, how QPSK works. Okay, so now you just focus on this camera, sorry, this diagram. So this diagram tells so how exactly the QPSK works. So first what happens is the whatever the input it is coming, it is in the form of serial bits. Okay, so now by this time everybody knows the different transmission modes. The bits can be sent serial manner or parallel. Okay, so here whatever the data that is coming, it is in the serial manner. Okay, so that should be converted into parallel. Okay, so if it is the bits are 0 and 1, so when it comes to this particular device, it has to be made it to parallel. Okay, so it will receive 1 and 0, and 1 will be sent to this part and 0 will be sent to this part. So what exactly happens? Why we are using this serial to parallel conversion? Okay, so just we'll understand the purpose of parallel conversion here. The incoming bits first pass through the serial to parallel conversion that sends one bit to one modulator. Okay, this is the modulator. So it is going to change the input signal. So this is here you are going to send bit 1. Just consider, I am just considering 0 and 1. And another bit is sent to another modulator. Okay, so this side, I think you can just okay, so this is another modulator. This is the first modulator and this is the second modulator. So next what happens? So if the duration of each bit incoming signal is t, the duration of each bit sent corresponding to BPSK signal is 2t. So you just observe the diagram, the input that is coming. So it is sent to the modulator. Okay, with some degree consider, it starts with a 0 degree. So it is not going to make any changes with respect to the input phase whatever it is coming. So here as usual there is an oscillator that will generate the carrier frequency. Okay, and this carrier frequency is converted according to the input that is coming, and this is the output of it. Okay, so where there is a particular phase of this input signal, maybe it is 0 degree or 180 degree. Now consider this is 0 degree, the data is represented with a 0 degree phase. So now whatever the data that comes to this modulator, okay, for this it is going to generate the oscillator is going to generate the carrier frequency that is shifted with a phase of 90 degree. Okay, mute yourself, somebody is unmuted.
No.
Okay, don't unmute unnecessary. So now whatever the carrier frequency generated by the oscillator, it is shifted by 90 degree. Okay, it is shifted by 90 degree. So that output is modulated with the input signal and you will be getting this output. Okay, and when you combine these two to form the serial conversion, you can just here S stands for, once again the parallel is converted into serial transmission mode. So here the blue color indicates this is one phase. Okay, the black color indicates that is in another phase. So how it has happened? Just using this 90 degree shift. Whatever the carrier frequency it is generated by the oscillator, for one bit it will not do any changes with respect to the phase. For other bit it is changing to 90 degree. The carrier frequency itself it is changed to 90 degree, and that is multiplied with the input signal that is coming. Okay, so this is how you are going to get the different phases for the bits. Okay, is it clear? So how I got one bit with 180 degree and another with 0 degree. Okay, that is in case of binary PSK. Okay, so now we'll just focus on if it is for QPSK, how it is done. Okay, just observe. So this is 0 0 1 0 0 1 1 1. If this is the data, so this is, you can see here, this part of the diagram is, so this part of the diagram it is for binary. So where you will be taking one bit information and convert into one signal element. Okay, so now you can just focus on this side. So this is a carrier frequency. Okay, this is the actual carrier frequency generated by the oscillator. So now You can just observe. So after converting, okay, so one bit with the just directly with the carrier frequency and multiply with the input signal, you will be getting the output, okay, with some phase. Similarly, you can just observe another carrier frequency, so that is where shifted with the phase of 90 degree, okay. So this is going to repeat every time with the different degrees. So where you will be getting here it is minus 135, 45, okay, 135. This is plus 135, 45. Something if it is, if you draw quadrature. So this is 45 degree, okay. Maybe this is 90 degree, okay. Consider this is somewhere you will get 130 plus, okay. So you will be getting 135. Then so minus 135 and minus 45, okay. So this is how your signal is going to change its phase with a different degree by maintaining the amplitude and frequency same, okay. There is no change in the amplitude and frequency, okay. Is it clear? So this is little bit you need to understand thoroughly compared to other three methods. So QPSK is, so because it requires more number of phase shifting to represent different elements. So this is for 2 bits. In case if you want to send 3 bits, okay, what is the what are the all possible combination for that? If it is 2 bits, the possible combination you are going to get for 2 bits is 2 power 4. Sorry, 2 power 2. It is 4 bits. 4 bits combination. That means you need 4 different degrees to represent the data. That's what we have done here. Minus 35, minus 45, plus 35, minus 45. So now in case if I want to send 3 elements, can you answer how many degrees it requires? It's so clear. If it is only 1 bit, okay, if it is only 1 bit it is carrying, okay, 2 power 1. So you need maximum 2 different phases. If it is carrying 2 data element, okay, so it requires 4 degrees. If it is 3 data elements are carried by one signal element, 2 power 3, that is it requires 8 degrees, sorry, 8 phases or 8 degrees, okay. You will be using 8 different degrees to represent the data. You are going to change the phase of the signal with 8 degrees. If it requires to carry the 4 data element by single signal element, okay, 64. Is it 64? It's 16. Okay. So this is how you will be getting the different quadratures. Just take a minute if you have any doubt. So we'll be discussing in simple words how this can be simplified with some particular diagram. So if you have any questions, you can ask me. Okay. Actually, if you go with if it is a EC student, they will be learning with a lot of equations and all. Okay, for you people, it's not required so much. Okay, how it is done, how degree shifted. Okay, how, so degree means in terms of sine and cosine it can be represented. They will be having lot of derivation for this. Okay, so all that it is not required. Just understand theoretically how it works. Okay, so always here you are going to get a composite signal. What is the meaning of composite signal? Can somebody answer? So we have used this term many times. What is the meaning of composite signal? See, you should answer either correct or wrong. Try to answer. Either use chat box or unmute yourself. Do something. Yes, what is the meaning of composite signal? We have discussed in chapter 3. Yes, no? We have discussed in chapter 3 about composite signal, simple signal, that is sine wave. So here composite, yes,
Signals which produce for multiple materials, ma'am.
oh, what Pujita, can you repeat?
Ma'am, the composite signals produce model from multiple materials, ma'am.
Yes, it is not materials, okay, it is signals, okay, it will be having a group of sine wave. Okay, composite means it will be having group of sine wave. It is not a
Is a
single
group
sine.
of sine wave with different amplitudes and frequencies.
Yes, yes. So that is called as composite signal. So these are the terms you should be knowing, because if you are reading it as a composite signal, you may not understand. Okay, so understand the meaning of each word, then only it will be easy to understand. Okay, so here we have one problem. Let's go to the problem. Find the bandwidth of the signal transmitting. Okay, so transmitting 12 megabits per second. So immediately you need to just note down 12 megabits per second. What exactly it is? It is data rate, okay, or bit rate. The value of n, it is 12, sorry, 12 megahertz for QPSK, and the value of D is a 0. Okay, so D they have given 0. So now you should be knowing what is the formula to be used to calculate the signal rate. Okay, so here when I tell, or you can just see from this QPSK, you need to understand how many signal elements are carried by how many data elements. Sorry, how many data elements are carried by how many signal element. Okay, you can easily calculate. So QPSK stands for two signal elements are carried by one, sorry, two data elements are carried by one signal element. Okay, two data elements are carried by one signal element. So in that case, what will be the r is equal to 2 by 1, that is equal to 2. Okay, so how you got r? So because of this term QPSK. Okay, that's what we have discussed in this program, this diagram. Okay, QPSK is nothing but where it is going to carry the two data element by one signal element. So that is called as quadrature shift phase shift keying. Okay, so you came to know R. So now you can calculate what is the signal rate. Okay, so the commonly used formula for calculating signal rate, because we know the value of n here. Okay, n into 1 by R. So what is n? It is 12 megahertz. Okay, 12 megahertz divided by 2. So that is equal to 6 megahertz. Okay, so this is actually, don't use hertz here, because you are representing the signal rate. It should be in buds. Okay, baud rate. So the unit should be baud. So many times you will get confused whenever if you are representing the value for signal rate. So it should be in baud. The unit used for signal rate is baud. So now you got the signal rate, but actually what they asked the bandwidth. Okay, they asked the bandwidth. So we already know that. So there is a formula, that is B is equal to 1 plus D into S. Okay, so D is 0. What happens? You will be getting the value 6 megahertz. Okay, so you just substitute D equal to 0. So you'll be, sorry, this is guess, not 5. Okay, signal rate. This is the formula for calculating the bandwidth. So I have shown in the diagram. So it is same as ASK. I think it was there in the, yes, here it is. Okay, this is the bandwidth. So always just to focus on the signal rate and bandwidth for each of these methods. Okay, so that is all about the QPSK. So one we have discussed, binary PSK. Okay, and another one is QPSK. Okay, so here you are going to use one data element is represented by one signal element. So here two data elements are represented by one signal element. That is the main difference you need to understand. And this diagram is very, very important. Okay, so how you can represent, how you can do the phase shifting for each data element. If you want like this, the different degrees to represent four elements, different elements, you need four different phases. So that is done with the help of this shifting. Okay, whatever the carrier frequency generated by the oscillator should be shifted by 90 degrees each time, so that you will be getting four different degrees to represent the data. So next we have one more important term called constellation diagram. Constellation diagram. So what exactly constellation diagram tells? Okay, it is just simple diagram that will be telling about the amplitude and phase of the element, signal element. Okay, so a constellation diagram can help to define the amplitude and phase of the signal element. Okay, so particularly when we are using two carrier frequencies in different phases or in different quadrature. So how to represent this diagram now? So in constellation diagram, a signal element is represented by a dot. Okay, so we'll be having like this. So just write quadrature, I mean the axis. So if I represent something a dot here, so this indicates the a signal element. Okay, so like this, if you are putting dots in different phases and different amplitude, so it will be called as constellation diagram. So how to draw this? So signal, you just remember the dot indicates the signal element. So the bit or combination of bits can carry is often written next to it. Okay, so if you are keep on increasing number of bits carried by the single signal element, so you will be just representing the same thing with a different amplitude and phase. So here mainly the diagram will be having mainly two axes. The horizontal axis is related to phase carrier. Okay, so this is a horizontal axis and this is called as phase carrier. Okay, and we have vertical axis or y axis that is indicates the amplitude carrier. Amplitude carrier. So that is the first step you need to do for drawing the diagram. Okay, y axis is related to quadrature, sorry. Okay, so this is called as quadrature carrier. So that is number of bits you are going to represent. So that is indicated by the y-axis. For each point in the point in the diagram, just a minute. Okay, so for each point in the diagram, four pieces of information can be deduced. So four pieces of information can be. So it depends how many bits it is going to carry. So this is an example of 2 power 2. That is the two data elements are carried by the one signal element. Okay, so in that case this is the representation you will get. If it is 8, okay, you will be having four different. Okay, so I will just go to the diagram here. Okay, you can just go to this, how the constellation diagram is represented. So x-axis indicates the phase carrier. Okay, and this dot indicates the signal element, and y-axis indicates the quadrature carrier. Okay, and it is like as I told, the amplitude measurement. So this is can be used for representing the amplitude. This is just for one single element I have shown. Okay, so like this you can just represent depending on number of bits carried by a single signal element. Okay, so here there are some simple set of constellation diagrams are there. You can just look into that. What is this OOK stands for? Can somebody tell? ASK is also called OOK. Yes, either use chat box or unmute yourself. What is OOK stands for? So in ASK I explained about this. Yes, know it or not? I didn't get any answers either in the chat box
On
or
off.
okay. Okay, so the answer is on off keying. Even Sumit also answered. The answer is correct, on off keying. Okay, so that is very simple. So based on 2 bits, either the amplitude it will be high or it will be 0. So because of that, it is the term is given on off keying. So next one is BPSK. Okay, binary. So this is a constellation diagram for binary phase shift keying. Okay, so if it is binary, I told you will be using 2 different phases for representing bit 0 and 1. Okay, so this dot indicates the phase used for bit 1 and this is for 0. Okay, similarly, if it is 2 elements, 2 data elements are carried by 1 signal element. So in that case, you will be getting this quadrature PSK. Okay, so this bit indicating the data element 1 1 and this is 0 1, this is 0 0 and this is 1 0. You can just see there is a changes in the phase of the signal element. It is not same. Okay, so this phase and all are different phases. So how we have discussed in the previous diagram where the phase is represented with minus, okay, minus 35 degree, minus 45 degree, okay, and plus 35 minus plus 45 degree. Okay, so this is how you can write the constellation diagram. So that will be explaining about how the phases of the signal element is changed. Okay, so the explanation for that. So that finishes about ASK. So let me just quickly go to quadrature for 5 minutes at least. So the next method is quadrature amplitude modulation. So what is this quadrature amplitude modulation? So already I told in the beginning of this topic. So it is a combination of ASK and PSK. Okay, that means you are going to make changes in terms of amplitude and also the phase of the signal. Okay, so that is called as quadrature amplitude modulation. And here it is going to keep maintain constant of frequency. So here what is the idea used for QAM is using 2 carrier, one in phase and other quadrature with a different amplitude levels. Okay, so how it is just a combination. Okay, so for the element you will be, if it is in phase the amplitude will be same. Okay, so if it is in different quadrature, so the amplitude will be different. So like that there will be combination of change in phase and also the amplitude of the signal. Okay, so let's just go to the diagram. So you can just observe this is for 4QAM. Okay, so 4QAM indicates, so where 4 different signal element types. So this is once again you are considering unipolar NRZ signal. So don't worry about that. So this is the diagram indicates what exactly it tells for QAM. So here there is a change in the phase and also amplitude. Okay, the amplitude is remains same but phase is changed. Okay, so this is another way of representing for QAM. This is, so here phase is same. Okay, amplitude is same. Is it same? So amplitude is going to be different for this and different for this, but phase is same. So like that you will be just, you can get variety or different method of writing the constellation diagram based on the amplitude and also the quadrature, that is the phase. Okay. So why 4? Because you are representing 4 signal element. Okay, it is in the same phase but different amplitude. So here amplitude is same but different phases. So like that you can get a different combination of constellation diagram can be represented for QAM. Okay, so what is the bandwidth used for QAM? So the minimum bandwidth required for QAM transmission is same as that of required for ASK and PSK. Okay, so what was the bandwidth I told? In the before I told in the problem, what is the bandwidth? Can you tell? So that is B is equal to 1 plus D into S. So this is the bandwidth required for QAM. Okay, it is same as that of ASK and also PSK. Okay, so here advantage, how you can tell what are the advantage and disadvantage of these method is, this is in terms of noise tolerance. Okay, so in terms of noise tolerance you can tell so which of the method are efficient to use. So this quadrature amplitude modulation, where they will use? Okay, so normally this can be used for any of the signal element, but QAM it is mainly used in satellite. Okay, so the application of QAM is in satellite. It is mainly used in the satellite. Okay, so why it requires for satellites? Just explore yourself. So why it is used in satellite? So what are the reasons they are using QAM instead of any other modulation technique? See, whatever we are discussing, all these modulation technique, it is mainly used for communication. Okay, whatever the information you want to communicate, so the signal it has to be modulated using any of these 4 method. Okay, so very important. So when it comes to these methods, okay, PSK and QAM, when it comes to these methods you need to remember what exactly the meaning of this, okay, diagram, and there will be set of problems in terms of calculating this bandwidth or signal rate. Okay, just aware of these things. Maybe in the next class I will be just explaining about the advantage of each of these methods, so which is the best either in terms of bandwidth utilization and also in terms of noise tolerance. Okay, so there is one more topic, it is actually not there. Whatever you are using AM, FM, okay, PM. So this is another set of method where analog data is converted into analog signal. Okay, so why it requires? Already the data is, yes, it's time up. Okay.
Yes, ma'am, we have another
Yes.
class.
Okay, sorry. So let me just end the session. Tomorrow we'll discuss the further topics.